Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Cross Counter Asia, and we have a very, very special guest today, Tokyo Bananaken Jose. He has just come back from SBO, and he is jet lagged, but we're still going to interview him in his delirious state and find out just what happened this year at Togeki. First of all, I want to know, what is with that team name, TW Fighter?
Well, from my side, like there was not much involvement. If the name is any suggestion, I simply left it up to Chen's judgment.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, it's if I were to like make a guess, I think he's just trolling his Taiwanese friends. He's just like, "Oh, this is Team Taiwan," and even though the team was formed in Houston. So I
Texas
think like
Fighter.
yeah, I think that was pretty much it. And who knows? I mean, the team was called TW Fighter, and looking at like how things went down at SBO, who knows? That might actually confuse SBO staff
I have a
since
theory that that team name threw them off, and all of this is really just Xian's fault. Xian Chang from
I mean,
Texas. He confused the organizers badly.
I mean, it might not be inconceivable considering that they cannot
Arkham's
count to
Razor.
32.
Arkham.
We ended up having 33 teams instead of 32, so that would actually be a step up
Yeah.
from
I think
from
a lot of people have seen on Facebook, if they're friends with you, they should have seen the picture of you and Xian Chang holding up the SBO coupons, I guess, or the tickets, when you guys won the America qualifier in Texas. And those were white color. But of course, as many people know, the official placards are blue. Did you receive the official SBO package, invitation package?
yes, like we actually saw all the documents. The placards you speak of were like John Lay actually had them inside the arcade, and we actually signed them personally. The the white cards that we received
Hmm?
are used for admittance into
Oh, okay.
Togeki, and even though I forgot to sign it, but yeah, you're supposed to sign the back of it, and that's what identifies you like as a participant.
Cool.
And yeah, so we did get the blue tickets. The blue forms
All right.
signed.
So even though you guys had the official forms and documentations and you signed it, why was it that the was it Zero Kaisen, the preliminary qualifiers were between you and Kuwait? Because there was a third team, the official Taiwan team, that
Mhm.
was also, I guess, overlooked by the SBO qualifiers. So why was it not a three-man battle between Taiwan, TW Fighter, and Kuwait? Why was it only between you and Kuwait to decide the very last spot for SBO?
So it was a it was a tedious negotiation
Mm-hmm.
process. It all began like the very morning when we were writing to SBO. I received a call from Shen Chang at around like 11 a.m. Japan this time.
Yeah.
He's telling me that we had to fight Daigo and Iyo's team, the winners of the last chance qualifier, because apparently we were not supposed to have a spot, but they were willing to give us that chance. And
Now, Xian
and
Chang, for a lot of people that don't know him, he's a huge troll, right? So you,
yeah, I was like I mean, at first, like when he was like first talking about it,
yeah.
like I was thinking, like maybe he's joking, but like I mean, I do know him like enough to tell when he's not trolling,
Oh, okay.
and he was definitely not trolling, like when he was telling me that,
Mhm.
and like I don't know, like it still had not like sunk in, like just how messed up the situation was.
Some people might be excited at the prospect of fighting against two of Japan's top Street Fighter players. But when you heard the news, you were taken aback by it, is it?
I mean, I suppose like the way I see it, it's a 32-man bracket. It's not very big,
Hmm.
so the luck of the draw,
You might
I
have
could
been
have,
fighting them anyway, right?
yeah, yeah. So that was beside the point.
Hmm.
What was actually what actually had me concerned is that we were told that we were not supposed to have a spot in
Mm,
the 32-man bracket, which means that we potentially are not participating in SBO, even though
right.
we were promised that we would be able to. I
And that's a
think
big thing
that's
for you because this was your first time not only at SBO, but also in Japan, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
and also like it was. Although a lot of people might not believe me or might disagree in my way of thinking, but like like the main purpose of my trip was to participate in SBO,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was reflected on all of the U.S. teams because like the since we arrived, our time was spent mostly in research, like
Hmm.
scouting our opponents, practicing in the arcades as much as we can, and and of course like adjusting to the jet lag and yeah, like and Saturday morning, of course, we woke up well relatively early, like early to arrive early for Arcade Edition, and we went on our way. So it was our main purpose was definitely to participate in
I
SBO.
thought you were just going there to buy some Tokyo banana.
To well, I mean, I'm not gonna like mention names, but people did go to Roppongi, and I've heard stories,
Okay.
and
We don't
it was
talk. What
interesting
happens in
when
Roppongi stays in Roppongi,
yes,
except for that chlamydia that's spreading around the American team right now.
oh dear,
Um, Now, I've heard rumors that the SBO organizers, when they decided that it was between either you and Kuwait to get into that last spot, they told you, I guess, behind the Kuwaiti team's back that, don't worry about it. It's the Kuwait team. It's going to be a walk in the park. Is that true?
it's that looked like it was part of the reasoning.
Uh,
Um, Initially, that seemed to be the case, like as a form of compensation, I
yeah,
guess,
yeah,
like
sure. Yeah.
for apparently being unable to do anything about us not supposed to have a spot. Like I guess they gave us like a chance against the Kuwait team. Um, like one of the first things I did was object is this even fair to the Kuwait team? Like we are like and like what and if we were not supposed to have a spot, like why were we not supposed to have a spot? And if it was a mistake on SBO's part, then why do we have to take the matter into our own hands and take away somebody else's spot, which they earned fairly?
Now, Cien, you know, because you fought them in Taito Station. I'm sure you did too, Jose.
Mhm.
The Kuwaiti team is no walk in the park,
Uh, Natsu is the best guy player I have ever played.
right? Like Japanese, white, black, Asian, whatever, like any color. He is hands down the best guy player on planet Earth. I think. Do you think perhaps maybe the Togeki people were saying, "Oh, their characters aren't that good," or were they directly insinuating that the players themselves were not that strong?
Um, that, like I said, that probably had to be part of their thought process.
Yeah.
Like I said, initially they wanted us to fight it out against Daigo and Iyo's team.
Oh,
Um, it I believe like Daigo like refused
what?
to fight us. Um, I mean like I don't know like what the reason was. I mean, but I don't. It doesn't really need a reason. Like if somebody asks you, it's like, oh, would you agree to fight these two players and like and make you work harder still to finally get into the top 32? Like, just like if you were told that, like anyone would pretty much say no. Um,
But
like,
hmm,
go ahead.
no, I'm thinking, you go there to Japan not to fight Kuwaiti people, as good as they are as competitors, but you go to Japan to fight some Japanese people. I feel like if Daigo and I didn't know this before, I feel like if they had the opportunity to fight you, even though by then they had already made it into the last spot, last chance qualifiers, I feel like they should have just done you, had the courtesy to give you what you guys wanted, which is to go to Japan and fight the strongest. And it just so happens that two of the strongest players. But they didn't entertain you. I'm kind of bummed out to hear that.
Yeah, like and regardless like of the team that we ended up like fighting against,
Mm-hmm.
like well that would I guess that would have been great. Um, I guess what my like what was most important for me was to be able to like go and like try my hardest, be at 100%,
Mm-hmm.
and regardless of the result, at least like come back and say, like I gave it my all, and like and tell the people like on like my friends, tell everybody on Facebook or on Twitter, it's like, hey man, like the competition was fierce. I made it this far, and and it was fun, and I was hoping that I could at least like get to say those things.
And speaking about 100%, do you think after that whole debacle that happened in the morning, after all those strenuous negotiations with the SBO team, when you finally did go and fight the Kuwaiti team, were you at 100% in your heart?
mm,
In everything, mentally, physically.
Not really. I mean, like we were arguing for like, well, not really arguing. Like it was pretty like a friendly exchange. Um, but like we were pretty much like trying to negotiate for like at least 3 hours.
Oh
Like
shoot! Okay.
we got there like around 11:30 a.m. Um, and at the entrance of the convention, the TGS convention, people were entering, like the other US teams were entering, and it just so happens like I sign up and I was told to stay there, and like Dog already knew, so he stayed there to interpret, and
God bless the Fubar duck.
yeah,
Um.
and
Mhm.
pretty much like yeah, like if Dog had not been there, then probably there wouldn't have been much development other than like no spot, sorry, and I probably would have been like really depressed.
Came back with like half your pinky chopped off and with a banana tattoo on your back. I don't know. What do you say to the people that say, well, you know what? TW fighter Xian Chang and Bananaken should have just beaten the Kuwaiti team and gotten into the last chance qualifiers, and this would all be a moot point. What do you say to all those people that think that?
That's completely wrong. I mean, like, once we were put into that position where we had to like pretty much choose either fight with Kuwait or pretty much forfeit,
Mm-hmm.
like there was really no more room for negotiation. SBO was about to start,
Right.
and like if we tried to push the matter further, it wouldn't have produced results, and they would have just like defaulted on just making us forfeit. And so we like entertained their proposal. Um, I regret it because honestly, in the end, we would have just 30'd our hands if we won. And I'm actually glad that, like, in the end, like, at least Kuwait, like, advanced past first round.
Yeah.
And they made it to the quarterfinals, which is, like, very impressive. Um, Obviously, like, when we played, like, we didn't play optimally, to say the least. Like, I've never seen Shen, like, seem, like, so, like, out of focus.
Hmm.
like like people argue it's like, oh, like Shen like always chokes or whatnot, and like I guess that's like a rumor that's been like going around, but he's still very strong. I mean, he did not place well at Revelations out of coincidence. Like
Yeah.
I believe he placed fourth. Like, and where was everybody else? Like top three was international players, all of them.
How big of a role do you think the Daigo factor played into all of this? And do you think, as a player with such a storied career in SBO, like this man obviously has a lot of clout. I think it's between him and Nuki that have won the most SBO trophies in
Mm-hmm.
the tournament's history. Do you think that he should have been more outspoken and helped you guys out?
Honestly, it's like I think his way of helping out, like he already did it by protesting, like the fact that that they wanted to pit him against us. Like, and I believe that's enough. Like Daigo has a reputation to uphold. Like, he is a public figure, and he is not in a position to like imply anything negative
Yeah, he
or
has.
cause any kind of drama. And at Tougeki, of all places, I believe like he writes a column or something at a TGS or Arcadia magazine
Arcadia
related.
magazine does. Arcadia, who like is under Enterbrain, who runs SBO, does employ Daigo time to time to write articles. You're absolutely right.
And
Um, this might be a little too soon to ask you, but come next year, would you go back to SBO, or are you part of that growing bandwagon of Western players that is calling for boycotts of SBO?
um, I don't I don't really condone like the concept, because I believe it was the biggest purpose it would serve is to fracture
Hmm.
like the relationship between like the fighting community in Japan and the US and whatnot. Um, like, I
Just
guess the more mature thing to do
mm,
would be to continue going to the tournaments like as usual, and if there are spots like SBO qualifier spots and SBO willingly offers them, um, I mean, like, by all means, because in the end, it still supports the arcades in the US. Like, it gives
definitely.
players a reason to compete, a reason to go. Um, I do not agree, like, with the way like SBO runs like things. Like the format, like, I guess it's not news that a lot of people have like not the best opinions on it, like single elimination, single match, and whatever. But like also like I guess like the work ethic is like it's not something like I agree with.
Hmm.
Um, and for that, like, if it were like me, like returning to SBO next year,
Hmm.
I mean, I just can't. Like, it's just based on my experience on in SBO like this year. Like, I found that certain things were unacceptable. Um, I know it's not the player's fault, like not the Japanese player's fault. It has nothing to do with like has very little to do with nothing at all. Like about how the structure of the SBO staff. It's just like how their directors, like their higher
Yeah.
ups, simply run
Mm.
and control everyone at the lower level, so to speak.
Speaking of which, what did you think of the apology coming from those people, those, the people in charge of SBO? I felt it was a bit short.
Underwhelming.
I was like, is there more? I tried to click to make the jump, and that's all there was. What did you think of it?
I think it's unfortunate because like they are only like digging a deeper hole like themselves.
Mhm.
Um, like there's many indications that like they're not doing like the most honest effort possible. Like not just like the way the letter was written. On Two Channel, people actually pointed out like several things that weren't like very appropriate. Like for one, there's no direct link to the letter of apology in
Mm. Mm.
the
Mm.
Togeki website.
Mm.
Um, to be more detailed, um, it appeared it's supposed to appear in the frequently asked questions section. Maybe for whatever reason, but there was no longer any link to the frequently asked questions section in the main page, and the reason for that being is that it was commented out. If and one of the Two Channel posters actually went through the trouble of looking at the source code of the web page, and it shows that it got quite obviously commented out. Um, so
See some ninja.
unless you have a direct link to
Yeah.
the letter of apology, which was used, I believe, to inform like all the major foreign like
Mm.
news outlets, like event hubs and whatnot. It wasn't used for anything else. I felt that it was simply used to get that out of the way, and they didn't dignify themselves to like mention the individual players affected, like
I
not
think
just.
they should
Mhm.
put you on the cover of Arcadia as a
Um,
form of apology. Or they should have taken you to Shinjuku, bought you like some 200-year-old sake, thrown you like in a pen full of underage shaved geisha, and just. But the fact that you're still complaining here, I guess obviously they didn't, do the right things that they should have. I mean, and especially now that the yen is so ridiculously strong against the dollar, they have it's totally within their means to compensate the American team that was disenfranchised this year, and they're not doing it, and I'm very disappointed in that, and I'm sure you are as well.
yeah. Like after we fought against Kuwait and lost,
Mm.
like I wasn't mad at our performance, but I was like it started like sinking in, I guess, like how messed up the whole situation
Yeah,
was.
really.
Um,
Because we liberated them from Hussein, tore down that statue of him, like hung him, and his head fell off. If you see the explicit YouTube video, no, but Kuwait is really strong. It's not their fault for being, I mean, so ridiculously skilled.
like
Yeah.
but yeah, like if anything, like just playing against them, like I've only grew to like respect them further.
Oh, for sure. Those
Like
guys
not
went
just
there early, and they were training in Tokyo before Togeki. They really are really dedicated to this game.
Mhm. Like not just like for the dedication of their players, but the they have another individual who was also like being an interpreter.
Oh, wow.
Um, his professionalism like was astounding. Um, like he was like I remember that Kuwait, like they were running like slightly late.
Mm.
Um, this ended up being like partly why we ended up being pinned against Kuwait, because it
Mm.
made it seem like as punishment for being late. Um, like
Punishment for
he,
those rising oil prices.
um, like he was, he was like extremely upset, like that they got late, and it seemed, and he felt that it was like entirely their fault. Um, but even through all that, like they kept a straight face, they were gracious, and in the end, like they just wanted to like get a better grasp of like what actually went on. Just as like things started to like get like weirder, you know, because it wasn't like it didn't seem like just a punishment for being late. It seemed like there was much more going on,
Definitely.
and yeah.
Yo, your wardrobe is empty.
Oh yeah. uh, Actually, my most of my clothes I just keep them folded in my drawer, and
Because I
if
had a theory why they didn't show any of the American teams on stream, on the Nico Nico Togekick stream. Because all the foreigner players were naked, because you didn't have any clothes, and showing private parts like genitalia in Japan is illegal, right? Like you have to have a mosaic, and you were so big, so well hung that the whole screen was mosaiced out, and that's why yeah,
it
you and
was
Mike Ross, the whole screen was mosaiced out, and that's why no one in America, even though they paid 1,500 yen, which is like what, $20, to see the stream, they didn't see any American team go on, which is a damn shame.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah. It's um I I guess like here's where like the devil's advocate comes in. Like Nico Nico's, like I said, Nico Nico stream. It's a website like tailored towards a
Japan.
Japanese
Yeah,
audience. Like their whole aim was to cater to that type of audience, but I don't know. But it also like I guess on the other hand, it serves to show that there is a disconnect between the Togeki staff
yeah,
and the U.S. community and foreign community in general,
definitely.
because there's been like legitimate efforts to like pretty much like give them our money because we wanted to watch Togeki, not just only just to watch uh like the U.S. teams, like obviously that was a big deal like for the U.S. Viewers, but just to like watch top players in general. And it and regarding that, like Mike Ross and Gutex gave like pretty much like all the feedback that needs to be said regarding that. It was overall disappointing. It was even with like guides on like I Play Winner, I believe, to
Mm,
like how to sign up on Nico and get the points and pay. It was still very challenging to get to the stream. Once you
sir.
finally got to the stream, the quality was not very good. There was downtime, a lot of downtime between some games, which questions uh, the reasoning on why there was so little matches streamed, and it also questions why none of the U.S. teams appeared, whether it was first round or not. Like there was many opportunities. There was an ample time slots to show uh, more foreign teams, to show more matches,
I
to
think they
show
want to
what the
save it
viewers wanted.
for the DVD, so they don't give away all their cards. That's my theory. I don't know though.
Mm.
It's pretty
I mean,
stupid.
I mean, I understand. Like I can see that. But like in the end, like you don't really like have to like cater, like pamper international like players, but like the way that the stream was presented, the way the players were treated, um like it wasn't even like being treated fairly. It's we just felt rejected, which is Like it's not a very good feeling.
It's what those geisha are. You pay them money, they can't say no. I want to ask you finally, and Stan and I are dying to know: will you be Banana Ken in 2012 AE, or will you be Banana Go Ken or Banana Gen? What do you make of the 2012 beta changes that came out just a day ago?
Mm, I mean, like the changes so far actually seem promising. Like one of the nerfs, which was a slower sweep.
Sweet.
Um, yeah, it it used to be 7 frames, but now according to the changes, it got up to 8. It's that's a very significant change.
You
It's
were using
mostly clear.
the heavy kick, low heavy kick in your Vortex game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, while it's not absolutely necessary for Ken's game plan, it led to some relatively cheap like situations on some characters.
Safe
Um,
jumps galore.
yeah. Um, but overall, I think it was compensated
Oh,
by like his other improvements, which is his standing roundhouse. It seems like it might actually be usable now. It used to be a move that rarely had application. It didn't have very good recovery. Um, the startup wasn't great. It got slightly improved, and the recovery was actually significantly improved. Whereas they made it so that you actually have frame advantage on hit,
yeah.
which is a pretty big change from being negative no matter what.
Yeah,
Um,
just to get hit by it and then like still grab with Zangief.
yeah,
What
yeah.
about that overhead? Are you going to be using more overheads in 2012?
Well, the fake overhead. So if I'm reading correctly, they reduced the
Oh, is it just a fake?
yeah, the fake one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. Will you be faking out people more, juking
Yeah,
them out? Okay.
like I actually already use it.
Oh,
This actually makes like doing a fake overhead easier. It recovers faster and it travels the same distance in a shorter amount of time. So this means I can use it to like move and potentially set up a carrot throw, for example. Um, I can also use it to actually fake an overhead, which is what the move
what's it supposed to do?
is supposed to do. Like while it does that currently, it's very situational and it's really hard to make people scared of the overhead.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a huge help. And yeah, overall, I think he just got like tweaked because even though the slower sweep is a big change, it's also a trade-off because the older sweep, while being 8 frames, was also safer. It was minus
Minus.
6
Yeah.
instead of -7, which it is now, and that's actually a pretty big difference.
Against
And
Chun-Li, right? She can't.
yeah, exactly. Like her ultra is precisely a 7 frame
Yeah.
startup. So if you do a sweep with the current version, you're gonna get punished with a full ultra. If she has charge, of course.
Well, now she has that moving EX legs. So, and that's like 4 frames. That might be able to get you. Who knows though? We won't know. Want to thank Bananaken so much for divulging his time at SBO. Even though a lot of things didn't go according to plan, he still has a warrior spirit. Like if that was anyone else, if it was me, I would have just slit open my gut on the SBO stage in a form of protest. But
Well,
you obviously are looking forward to 2012 and the changes coming to Ken. We really hope that things work out for both sides on the pond, and we can grow communities together. Like, let's not make this a point of fracture because we don't need that right now.
thank you.
All right, that's all we have for now, guys. Bye bye, Banana Can.
Bye bye.
Tokyo Banana Can.
Bye, Ernie.